guys, and welcome back to another class. Today we're going to work on your outer hip strength, which for a lot of us tends to be really quite weak or tight. So we're going to go through a series of exercises on each side, nice and quick, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Okay, we're going to start on our right side. So we're going to lay down and we're going to use the back seam of our mat to help us get aligned. So line yourself down, taking your back to the back seam of your mat, and we'll take our right hand and place it behind our head. We'll just line our hand along the seam and make sure our body is lined up correctly. And then, of course, as always, the head needs to line up on the spine. For a lot of us, we tend to look down or look forward. I want you guys to make sure that you pick a spot on the wall in front of you and really keep that head in line so that you can breathe easier. Okay, we'll stack the knees to start, getting ready for some of our clamshells. So you're gonna take your top hand and place it on your top hip. And we're gonna start by opening and closing the knee. Now, for those of you that haven't done this before, a couple tips that are really important. Keep your hips stacked and stable. So if you find when you lift your knee that your hip falls backwards, you know that you have to create a smaller range of motion. So just lifting your knee as high as you can maintain this hip strength. Another thing that's really important is this bottom side of your waist needs to stay lifted and suspended as your knee comes up. We'll do 2 more times. And last one. Good, okay, so now let's pick the whole leg up so the heel and the knee will be at the same height. And we're gonna do the same idea. So we're gonna lift the knee up and back down. So as you lift the knee, it doesn't take long before you start to feel that outer hip strength. So try to go slow and try to really feel where you're learning to lift the knee from. We inhale to lift and exhale to lower. We'll do 1 more. Lift and lower. Nice job. Now keep this knee, or sorry, this leg the same height and straighten the leg out. Point the toe. Take that leg and stretch it as far as you can away from your hips so you keep these hips nice and stacked. And then we're gonna lift and lower this top leg. So see if you can find those same outer hip muscles here as you lift and lower your leg. So breathe in and pick it up and exhale to lower. Breathe in to lift and exhale to lower. Let's do 2 more. Lift and lower, and 1 more. Lift and lower. Nicely done. Now take that same leg and bring it forward on an angle. So the tips of your toes are going to reach to the end crease of your mat. And same thing here. Lift up on an angle and lower. And again, lift and lower. And this is where people really start to feel that outer hip work. So again, this top hand is holding your hip so nothing is moving. We have 2 more. Lift and lower. 1 more. And then we're gonna hold it here. Take your knee now and externally rotate it. So think about turning the kneecap towards the sky, turning your whole thigh bone in the hip. Same thing, lift and lower for 6. And 5, nicely done. And 4, ooh, I got a good shake. And 3, and 2, and turn that knee out. 1, nicely done. Take that leg, bend your knee and stack your knees down. Good job, you guys. Take your top knee and we're gonna slide it forward onto the mat. Then reach the bottom leg out behind. Keep this knee on the mat. Keep your hips stacked. So you might have to take your top hip and pull it back just a little bit. And then we're gonna pick that bottom leg up and down. And again, so stretching those toes out, lifting with your inner thigh. We'll do 2 more times. Lift. Good, 1 more time. We're gonna lift and hold. We're gonna point the toe. We're gonna feel all the muscles through that leg all the way up to our hip activate. And we're gonna make a micro circle one way for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and reverse. Downward and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Place our leg down. Take our top leg, bend our knee. And as long as your knees are healthy, you can go ahead and really pull that heel to your seat. And if you find it challenging to balance here, we can go ahead and bend our bottom knee and just feel that nice release of that quad. So making sure that when you bend the knee, that we're getting that release through the front of the hip. And so if you find when you bend your knee and your heel comes to your seat that your low back overly arches, I want you to draw your stomach muscles in and see if you can get that knee to come behind the hip without letting your spine change its shape. All right. Release that leg. Whew, we're gonna do the other side. So we'll push ourselves up to seated and we'll flip around. So again, using our back seam of our mat as we come down to line ourselves up. So hand behind your head, knees will bend, and then take your hand and just run it down the back seam of your mat and make sure you're nice and organized. Right hand in front. We'll start with our clam. So we'll keep our knees stacked to start. So just have a peek and make sure your top knee is stacked above so that your hips are organized. Bottom part of your waist is lifting. And we're gonna pick this top knee up and down. And so you may notice now that you've switched sides that the bottom hip, even though it's not working, you can still feel that tingling in it. That's all good. Let's do 3 more. Lift and lower, and last one, up and down. Okay, now pick your foot and your knee up the same height and do the same thing. So turning that knee out and back down. So trying your best to control each direction. So lift up and down. So a lot of people when they lift, they think, oh, there's the work, and then they drop their foot down. You guys are gonna lift your knee and then slowly bring it back to the start. Let's do 2 more. Lift and bring it back. And 1 more time. Lift and back. Nicely done, you guys. We're gonna straighten that top leg out, point your toe. Feel all the muscles up into the hip working. And we're gonna lift and lower. So as you lift the leg, feel like somebody's holding onto your ankle and pulling that leg so much that you feel your hips restack. Let's go 3 more. And 2 more, just checking in with your head placement. And last one, you guys, nicely done. Bring your leg down hip height, and then we'll angle it forward to the front seam of our mat and point those toes. And we're gonna try to lift it up here 6 times. And 5. And notice if you're not used to going this slow, how much more challenge there is because you've got more control. We'll do 2 more. And lift and down, and 1 more time. And then we're gonna hold the leg here and turn the knee out. So you can feel that as soon as you do it all the way up into the back of your hip. And here we go for 6. Slow it down and breathing in to lift and exhale to lower. And just notice as you go, if you could maybe lift the side of your waist up off the mat, maybe so much that a couple pieces of paper could slide under. This is your last one. Nicely done. Bend that knee and slide it back so it stacks again. Then you'll take that leg and you'll slide it forward, and bottom leg will straighten out. Making sure that when this knee comes to the mat, that the hip didn't roll with it. So just pull that hip back just a titch. Point that bottom leg. Point that bottom toe, and then we'll lift that bottom leg up and back down. And again, lift and down. So if you can keep your bottom foot active, it will help you to lift with a really uniform leg. So all the muscles lifting together. Last 2, you guys. And last 1. Pick your leg up and hold for a moment. Just point your toe and feel the arch of your foot contract. And then we'll circle around and up for 5 times. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And reverse, other direction. And we'll go 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Nice job. Take your knees back. And we'll go ahead and grab that top leg and we'll bend that knee as long as our knee is healthy. And draw our heel to our seat. And then just snuggle those stomach muscles in so that we get the spine forward, hip open. Ooh, quads are tight here. And we'll release that. Nicely done. Okay, and pop yourselves all the way up to seated. And we'll just sit in a what we call mermaid position. So we'll take our left shin forward and our right leg back. And we'll just do a little side bend to finish. So grabbing right hand to right shin, left arm up to the sky, and breathing into side bend, over, and exhale to come back up. 2 more times, breathing in and exhale. And last one, big breath in through the nose, release the tension as you go. Exhale, pull the stomach in to come back. Nicely done, we'll switch sides. If you have any issues sitting in this position, you can place a prop underneath your right hip. Take your left hand to your left shin, right arm up to the sky. Big breath in, we're gonna go over. Oh, it feels so good. And exhale to come back up. 2 more, guys, in the air as we go over. And exhale. And last one. Big breath in. And exhale to come up. Nicely done, and release that. Okay, thanks you guys. That was a quick 10-minute hip strengthening series. Not very long, but really effective, and I'm sure you guys can feel it in your outer hips. Can't wait to see you guys in the next class. Bye for now.